goals, dreams and goals, dreams and goals, get resolved.
I think Kobe is I played college basketball and tried to go pro, and I got hurt trying to go pro. So a lot of people that played in the league, I had to guard.
Yeah. Right.
Corey Maggette.
Oh, right, yeah.
He was as big as he was in high school, was the same size in NBA. No problem. Ronald Curry was a starting point guard for the UNC Tar Heels when they won the championship.
Yeah.
And he was a starting quarterback for the football team as well. I had to guard him.
Wow.
And so that was interesting. He's normally not a shooter, but that day he was on. So he had 27. I had a little something as well. I tried to go pro, got hurt trying to go pro, but it was all good. I met Patrick, though. Before I go there, Kobe was my second greatest player of all time. Number one is Michael.
So that's not even,
Michael.
Yeah.
People tell me LeBron. I said LeBron's number 3 for me.
Yeah.
But that's number 3 just because of it's LeBron. I kind of go between him and Kareem. Kareem is just he had the most unguardable shot in history of mankind, which is the skyhook. That you can't block that. But to me, Kobe was always number 2, and Mike was number 1. So I get in those debates all the time. But when it came to Patrick, I kind of stumbled onto Patrick about just on YouTube years ago.
Yeah.
And I said, man, this guy looks pretty, you know, what she's talking about a little bit. So he's going to his little whiteboard and everything. I said, okay, this is old school. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And so he began to grow a little bit. I just continued to watch. I kind of observed initially first. And then what happened that's when he began launching the vault when he was down here. And then he and I were going to the same local church, Watermark Community Church.
Yeah.
I saw him. I said, this guy's tall. I said, oh, it's Patrick. What's up, man?
Yeah.
We chopped it up a little bit, man. And I said, man, you guys, I said, you have been giving stuff away for free, helping out a lot of people. How can I serve you? He was like, wait a minute. And I said, how can I serve you? He said, come to the vault. Well, that year we could not go to the vault because my son passed away.
Man.
That year. And so I said, I can't go this year. And then the next year I actually went. Had a good little time, which was pretty good. But that's how me and Patrick actually kind of met and began to build a little bit. I got really close to Matt.
Yeah.
And kind of the thing with me and Matt was kind of the same thing you and Patrick. I went to the vault, and he and I were talking, which is great, and then we're flying back. So it's early in the morning. We're flying back to Dallas in first class. And I'm walking on the plane. I said, holy shit, that's Matt. I'm sitting right next to him.
That's awesome.
And I just been talking about business, life, family, being a good husband, good father, and of course a good believer in Christ, man, walking with the Lord, man. That's how he and I just began building. So that was me and Matt.
That's crazy. So Patrick was not same thing, but close. I didn't want to go. This is what's funny is that like I'm not a conference guy. That's not my thing. I believe it's all hype, and I don't think that motivation, I don't think hype gets you anywhere. It's self-discipline, it's determination.
Sure.
I'm not a hype guy, but I do think there's some valuable nuggets, right? Like, and I do like the networking piece.
Sure.
A business partner, huge PBD fan, and so I told PD, hey man, I don't really want to come, but like because we're cool like that, where I can say that, I go, man, my business partner really wants to go. We're gonna go. So we went to one of his little private events or whatever, and we're sitting there, and Patrick starts talking about like people being able to get things, and he was talking about his kid really wants these shoes.
Sure.
And I was like, what shoes does he want? He's like, man, he wants the Jordans that are coming out. I'm like, hey bro, you're talking like, he goes, because you know you've been to a Patrick event. It's all a bunch of chachi dudes, 3 pieces, like nothing wrong with that. This is not my style. I go and I usually have my like Jordans on. I was in just how I dress, and Patrick, I was like, dude, that's my that's I got that like all my shoe people. So he's like, well, this is what he wants. So I said, man, I'll have him by the. So literally by the end of the thing, I said, show me which ones you want. So his wife came over. She's like, he wants this. So I got all 3 in his size. And I was like, and I sent it to him. So I said, hey, they're going. Where do you want me to send them? You want me to send them to your house, whatever? So they're like, yeah. So I sent it to him, and at the end, he comes over. He's like, hey man, like let me know how much I owe you. I'll have him do it. I was like, hey man, it was like $1,500 because they're kids' shoes. I was like, man, don't worry about it. He's like, what? I said, don't worry about it. He was like, no man, let me give you some on your ticket, like whatever. I want to pay. I go, hey bro, you do so much for everybody else. You drop content out for free. I said, man, the fact that like, because as a father, when you're in the middle of 50 people and you're training and you bring up the kid stories, that's where your mind's at. And I always look at like those are telltale signs. Like if you're a good father, you're a good person. And when you're a good father, you're usually good for other people. So I was like, the fact that that's what you're talking about, your kid's shoes were on your mind.
Sure.
I was like, don't worry about it, man. And then so he was like, he grabbed me. He said, hey, man, you know, like people don't do that for me, and they want something. I said, man, I don't want anything from you. I don't need anything from you, man. I got my company. We're doing well. I appreciate you. And it kept going from there. And then, you know, he was like, hey, come out to this. And then same thing, bro. We go to Miami, and for the UFC fight, because my business partner's fighting again, and we're sitting front row. Guess who's next to us? Adam and them were this side of us, literally next to me. And then Patrick was sitting there with Candace. But it was just, again, was like...
The Lord, man.
It's crazy.
It's all God, man. That's what... I believe in divine appointments. 1,000%. I am where I am, not because of anything that I've done. It's because of his divine assignment upon my life. And so I tell everybody, I'm very okay with the unknown.
Yeah.
Because it's not for me to know at times. I have to be okay with walking by faith.
Yep.
And not by sight. Typically, men want to walk by sight. But if the master gives you the information too early, he disqualifies himself as a master because you're not ready for that information. So do I like it at times?
Nope.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with him. Say, Lord, you know your ways are not my ways. Your thoughts are not my thoughts. I'm going to walk with you no matter what it is. He's never let me down.
I love that.
He
And
never
we're
has,
going to talk about that. I guess we should have been recording, right?
It's all good, baby.
Or we should have been recording. Oh, have you? Well, there we go. Even better. So I guess we got to do an intro. Yeah. So I guess this will be our intro. How long were you recording? Oh, right. So we got that. Because I was going to say, I wanted to go back into that. So that's perfect. So we're going to reverse engineer the podcast. I'm here with LaDale. He's doing a little bit of everything. I know you're doing some real estate stuff. You ran for state office as well,
I
right?
did. Yeah,
you ran for state office, doing a bunch of stuff. So this is, we're starting it off on the DG show. So welcome officially, even though we've been going. I mean, we just talked about a whole bunch of stuff, man. I didn't know about the son passing. I mean, I'm sorry. My heart breaks for you.
Good, baby.
I believe that's, you know, through life, we all go through tragedy. And unfortunately, we talked about basketball. But I got to know this about basketball. So you played college ball where at?
I did. UT Dallas.
UT Dallas.
Yes.
And who you played against? Maggette? He was the Clippers for a little bit, right?
He did. I played against Corey Maggette while I was in high school in AAU Nationals. It's pretty big. Went down to Walt Disney World, the whole sport complex out there, man. It was pretty cool. And every nation, every university out there, big time, UNC, Duke, Colorado, you name it, they're there. And I remember walking onto the court, and it's just surrounded by scouts. And that's normal for us, but there was a lot of scouts there.
Yeah.
I said, well, they come to see your partner play. Okay, let's get it. No. They were there to see Corey Maggette play. And when he walked on the court, you just knew.
Yeah,
he was 6'9", huge. And it was one play, man. I was taking the ball out, and I threw it to our point guard. Our point guard was dribbling the ball. He threw it across court, and it was intercepted. And so I'm on the other side of the court seeing this unplay. And so we're taught to, hey, somebody's coming towards you, take a charge. So our point guard goes out and take a charge. And Corey Maggette dribbled 1-2, went up, looked at him, split his legs, and dunked on him. The whole crowd, the whole gym just took, whoa! I just said, ball out, man, ball out. And that was probably the biggest dunk that I've ever seen in my life because he's jumped over his head.
That's crazy. Was he for the Clippers, right? Drafted by the Clippers?
He was drafted by the Clippers, yeah.
Was that with Darius Miles? Wasn't that when they had that?
Miles, Swift, all them.
Yeah, they were like ball. That was back at
Elton Brand, all them boys.
Yeah, that was like that was a squad. I thought they were gonna do way more. They just couldn't put it together with some injuries.
No, they couldn't. He was a monster. He was a beast.
Yeah. So what are you doing now? So you're doing real estate. What else?
I'm doing a lot of real estate, a lot of private equity, finance. I've kind of leveraged my real estate portfolio, and now I'm investing into growth capital, some seed capital companies. One company invested in is called American Rounds.
Okay.
The first AI-powered ammo vending machine.
Oh, wow.
And then we're going into 1,000 stores in the next 18 months.
How do you get into that? Like what led you from real estate to this, and then specifically let's go.
My campaign manager.
Really?
Reached out to me and said, Dad, I got a deal run by you. Like, come on, bro. Everybody's pitching me every time.
Yeah.
He said, come on. I said, come on through the house. He said, Dale, this is the first AI-powered ammo vending machine. I said, excuse me? So he came and showed it to me, and I said, I want to get on the phone line with the owners of all of the, there was the rural, 4 of the largest rural grocery store chains had queried all of their consumers. Said, if we were to sell ammo in our stores, would you be okay with it? They all said, hell yes.
Really?
We would. No problem. So we had that data. So I got on the phone line with them, Zoom call, said, okay, guys, why do you need us? You own the grocery stores. They said, LaDale, we're in the grocery business, not in the ammo business. I said, I got it. We designed the technology, got the IP. We designed the machine itself, and we launched our first 6, 4 in Oklahoma, 2 in Alabama, and it just took off. We went to one of 10 grocery vendor conferences, 500 orders in one conference. We have 9 more to go through. 9
Wow.
more. We had another one in Louisiana last week, my team, 116 orders.
Wow.
So it's
crazy.
We're looking at probably a $1 billion evaluation in the next 36 months.
Congrats.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So and was that your kind of first deal?
Not really.
Yeah.
I've had some other small deals. This is going to be my biggest deal. Yeah, this make me a billionaire.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. Yeah. So you're doing that. How did you? So did your campaign manager get you to start the business? Did you start it for like your private equity stuff? Or you just doing
I had that already.
Okay.
We have $1.2 billion assets under management right now. It's me and another partner of mine. We invest in growth companies, seed round companies as well. Also, some internationally, some here local as well. Also, it really depends on the space.
What do you look for, like for people out there? Because I think this is an interesting space, or even for myself. Like I've said, we're actually going through a private equity deal right now. So we're on the other end of it, and to go big. But so when I obviously have that cash, that's something I want to get into as well. But I think a lot of people, because when I talk to just even friends, I'm like, hey, I've invested in a lot of companies, Liquid Death, Goat Fuel.
Sure.
There's a free reign car. There's a lot, but people don't know how to get in it. So I would say two parts. If you give some guidance, one, if somebody's an investor and they can they reach out to you and say, hey, do you have anywhere I could stick my money? Do you do stuff like that? And the second, if somebody
syndication.
Not really.
Not really. I do have a model for that. I haven't really dove into that because it gets a little bit complex. Then I'm open to it if it makes some sense, but I haven't dove into it. Number two, when it comes to making an investment into a company, I look at number one, who's the management team? Do you have a vision? Where are you going? And what is your exit? What's going to be the exit as well? Also, I don't mind short term. I like long term. I do 3 to 5. I do 8 to 10 years if I have to, depending on the structure and the viability of the vision and the management team. So I look at the team and the vision. That's what I look at.
What particular, like what if you were looking at the team, what are you looking for in leader? And I know we were talking about this earlier, right? Sure. And I think it's like the Patrick Bet-Davids, right? You look for this, but what type of leaders are you looking for, and what do you think makes a good leader to run a company?
Good question. The Bible says to be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. So I look at number one, is the CEO and the management team, are you guys quick to hear and slow to speak? That doesn't mean that you don't speak at all. Yes, speak your mind, but you're welcoming wise counsel. Do you know where you're going? What is your target audience? What's your go-to market strategy? I want to know all about your vision, and do you know where you are going? Most CEOs of small and some growth companies don't know where they're going.
Yeah,
you have no vision. So without a vision, there's going to be chaos. My money can't follow it because it's not any value there. Money chases value. And so I'm looking for where can I put my money at so I get the right amount of value back in return. So that's how I kind of look at it.
No, what do you think is more important? So I debate this all the time. So if we're talking about Patrick Manette, right? So there's Manette, and you get a lot of questions. And you get, and one, there's always the questions of systems and processes versus like vision, goals, dreams. Yeah. And I think I yin yang with it all the time, right? Because you got to have a great system and process, of course, product, if you will, but you got to have a great vision. If you could say, and I think with vision, there's a lot to go with your attitude, mental, emotional stability. But what would you think's more like if you were looking at investment, and maybe not just for you personally invested? So say somebody's out there, they're looking for a company to go work for. They maybe are looking for a company because if you go work for somebody, that's an investment too, right?
Sure,
like
it is.
You're putting your time and your state. What do you think's more important to value for a company? Company with a great vision and kind of good emotional attitude, or a company with a great product with a great system and process?
Vision first.
Vision first?
Because if you don't have the vision, the product means nothing. How can you tell a consumer this is good for you without having a vision?
Absolutely.
You cannot. I use example at the Lakers. The Lakers, when they came to Dr. Jerry Buss, he knew what he wanted.
Yeah.
That's the vision. Then he built the product.
Yes.
If you have a clear vision, building the product is very easy to do.
Rest his soul. I think Jerry, but I think first of all, I think he's the most underrated owner ever. And I know I'm a homer because I'm a Lakers fan, but
no, he's great.
He was
Dude was a monster.
Yeah.
How he bought the Lakers?
Yeah.
That was a
Crazy.
sexy deal
Yeah.
there. Oh, he's brilliant.
But
Brilliant man.
but people don't. If you really truly know the game, I don't think the NBA would exist without him because they were all broke, and he brought the TV deals, he brought the advertising. There was nothing with basketball. Like he literally brought it down to the Showtime, the season tickets, the TV deals, all that.
Yes.
He built it. It was incredible, and I love what he did with his kids. Like I actually tell my wife, like the vision is to be Jerry Buss because of what he did with his kids. Like I have a daughter, I have 2 sons and a daughter.
Sure.
But being able to support them, like they kept it in the family. They built an empire within the family, and it's
They
like,
did.
why have your kids? I don't know how you feel about this. I know you're a father. How many kids do you have?
2.
2 kids. I always hear my kid's gonna go work for somebody else and learn, and they're gonna get. I'm like, I want them to do that for me. Who's gonna care about their success more than myself? They can earn it, but let them earn it with me. And so I fall in that like bus mode where I'm like, I want my kids to work with me. Hey, 15, 16, they want to open a business. Let's go do it. Why don't I buy the business? You'll work for me. I'll pay you a decent wage, and you learn how to run the business when you're doing it for dad, right? So I model a lot after that.
Well, I would say I respect that. For me, my desire is for my daughters to work for me. How are they wired?
Yeah,
Because if they're wired a certain way, that may not be the place God wants them at.
go somewhere else.
God may want to send them to another place, which is fine.
Yeah.
My job is to grow them in the knowledge of Christ and his kingdom principles, and go out and have dominion. That is it for me. Now, if the desire is for them to work for me, I'm gonna be hard on them. That's for sure. We're gonna crack that whip a little bit as well also. But I understand how, like for instance, my oldest, she's my theater, music, emotional. So I know when she comes to me, she's gonna throw up all this information as well. So I gotta listen.
Yeah.
My youngest, she's like me. She's methodical. I want 1, 2, 3. That's it. Got it. Cool. So I have to be able to parent different.
Yeah.
But also discipline different when it comes to that. And that's been very interesting to see.
How old are they?
15 and 11.
15 and 11, and both girls. How did becoming a father change you? Because you've been an entrepreneur for a long time.
Yeah.
How long?
About 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Did you notice a difference once you had kids on being an entrepreneur?
Yes.
Leadership style. How did it? And I'm gonna go 2-part. One, you keep talking about, and we caught it before, relationship with God and a higher power, and I think that it's ultimate success for anyone. But how did, and if you noticed, how did your leadership style change when you became a father? And what did it teach you that you utilize in business?
Intimacy and time management. Especially when you have girls.
Yeah.
Now, the boys need it as well, but it's different.
Yes, completely different.
But from girls I know for Gabby, my oldest, she wants that intimate, that quality time with me. She wants all of that. She wants me to be able to say, Dad, let me tell you about my day. I had a tough day. Okay, no problem. I got to stop what I'm doing, 15 minutes of this uninterrupted time. So that teaches me she wants intimacy and she wants quality time. So time management now.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to Isabella, hers is 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's it. Hey, Dad, how was school? Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you learn anything? Same old stuff. Gotcha. So now with her, I'm like, okay. She loved being very creative. So she'll sit down. She's kind of like an engineer. She'll design stuff, write stuff, and I said, okay. I said, okay. I know what you like to do. You like to solve problems. No problem. Hey, Belle, I got a problem. Help me solve this. And she'll say, okay, let's do it. And so, like right here, I said, honey, should I put on a white one or a green one? She was like, green. Why? The white is too much white going on. So she helped me solve a problem. Her mind has to be working all the time. So it taught me, for her, it's more of, it's time management with her, but intimacy with her is totally different than with Gabby. Yeah. So just having to understand how they're wired and how to really spend that time with them.
Yeah, and I think it helps you with so many people, because I had a bad, I don't want to say maybe a bad habit. The people didn't do it, my way. I want to fire them. Right? It was I had zero lack of patience. And with kids, I learned so much patience, because it was like, if they do this, I can't fire them. I can't fire my kids. I don't want to fire my kids. I want to cherish every moment I can with them.
Yeah.
It taught me a lot of gratitude, patience, and even with people I work with, it's like, if this was my kid, now there's obviously stuff that you fire people for, you get that, but it taught me a lot of patience. Like, hey, these mistakes are gonna happen. Show some grace.
Sure.
Show some gratitude, man. Like, be patient like you would be with your kids, because they could go work anywhere else.
Yeah.
your kids didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Specifically with girls, you have to be really patient with them, specifically when it's the time of the month.
Oh man, I haven't got that yet.
Man, today was the first time all three of them had it. And I just said, Lord, have your way. Because today I'm like, because I understand that, okay, it's probably be a lot of emotional outbursts. Be okay with that. Be okay with that. My dad just told me, hey, son, let it happen. Let it happen.
Don't try to interfere.
No, let it happen. I said, no problem.
Wait, can we all say a prayer for my man? So wait a minute. You have two daughters and a wife in your house today.
Yes. And they all have this time of the month.
I'm so sorry.
It's part of the call, brother.
So this is the first time this has happened. That's all happened.
All three of them.
Do you feel safe in your own home today?
I do feel all safe. I just retreat to my office and say, if you need something, text me or come in here. No problem. It is what it's yes, dear. No, dear. That's fine. It's all good. But the one thing about my wife, she's very she didn't have a lot of emotional outbursts.
Yeah.
But she gets very emotional and clingy during those times. I said, yeah, it's time to mom.
Yeah, it's that time. I can't see. I haven't even thought that. My daughter's young, so we don't have that yet. So I'm there.
Pray for me.
I'm praying. Yeah.
This weekend was prom. And my daughter's a sophomore, so she asked out by one of a junior, and so I made a video and I put it on my social media platform. And I said, "This is Caleb, good young brother." I said, "He casket sharp today. He ready to go see Jesus. You can see Jesus there if you want to." And so dad's just laughing the whole time. And so he's a good young man. It was cool, but it was a little bit stressful for me. A little bit.
I was gonna say how. So I get my daughter's not even 2 yet, man. But people are like, because I'm super protective. So are my boys. It's like it's like, hey, man. If I don't know if you believe in the maker, but if you mess with my daughter, you can find out who's one, right? We can arrange that
for sure.
But I'm also I don't know. I grew up in a rough household.
Yeah,
father wasn't around. I don't know my dad's name, so no father household. Stepdad was abusive, drugs. We lived in a trailer park. It was just dirt poor. So I didn't grow up with that. I grew up with the opposite. No accountability, no structure. And I wish I had it, right?
Okay.
So I was the opposite. Now, I knew friends that grew up in the complete where there was structure but over the top. And neither one of us, I think, came out right, because when you have too much of you can't do this, you want to go do it.
Yeah.
When you don't have enough of you can't do this, you go do it, right? Yeah. So somewhere in the middle is what I'm trying to figure this parent thing out as I go, because I didn't have a father figure in my life. Sure. My mother is still kind of she's a meth addict, and so I still have that today. So I don't speak to my mother, but so I'm figuring this parent, like my oldest is 6, so I'm figuring it out. And I gotta ask, like, what are you gonna do when she dates? I'm like, man, I don't want to tell her she can't, right? That's first and foremost. It's her decision now. But I'm like, I'm gonna go. And they're like, what do you mean you're gonna go? I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna embarrass her. I don't want to embarrass her because first of all, I have sons too.
Sure.
So if you're a dad that like cleans their gun out in front of my son, you better hope you can fight, because I'm coming over there. We're gonna have a conversation.
For sure.
Don't threaten my kid. Second thing is so I see the other side, but on the flip side is I'm like, you know what? If my daughter wants to go on a date, then I'll go. I'll drive. You want to have dinner with him? I'll sit at another table.
Yes, sir.
You want to go to the movie? I'll sit there. So you're dealing with this prom dating thing. What's your philosophy on it? How have you dealt with it so far? Because I need some tips.
Well, I said rules without relationship equals rebellion every single time. And again, I'm dealing with an emotional.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine.
Emotional. And so for me, we have fun with it. I just say, baby girl, if you need me right here, wise decisions, right? We have on Live 360. So I know where you are at all times, which is great. That. And I let her know, I said, the Avengers will assemble. Yeah. We will assemble real quickly. And we don't miss when we shoot. Yeah. We don't miss. And so, but the young man's dad he was all cool. He was like, Dale, this is kind of a rite of passage. He said, scare him. Scare him. Scare
God,
him.
Dad just thrown him under the bus.
Scare him. God. And he's like, it's a rite of passage. I went through it. We all went through it, man. So it is what it is. But for her, man, I trust that she actually can make the wise decision. She has her own phone. So if you need me, Daddy's right there. I'm a phone call away. So just let me know. And she had a good time. Great. It was all good, safe. And we had some spies there. We had some spies.
Yeah, you got to have undercover. What about, was that like her first date, or has she gone on one yet?
She hadn't gone on that yet. That was her first time going out to a prom. Now, her and this young man had went out to eat a couple times. Okay. It's not dating. Yeah. Not dating. I said, y'all are friends.
yeah.
You are
I love
friends.
it. Here we go.
You are friends.
Yeah.
You are friends. That's it. And she was like, no problem. And she even says, I said, one question I get a lot of the time, DG, is how do you know when you've met the one? And I said, well, when your vision drives you to your spouse, that's when you know you met the one.
Yeah.
So I said to my daughter, right now, your whole focus should be on your vision. That is it.
Yeah.
And allow for the vision to drive you toward them. Right, you shouldn't worry about no damn boys.
No.
Not right
15?
now.
No.
Sir. No.
Nobody.
We got to pass
Ever.
classes.
Yeah.
You got theater going on. We got 2 months going on. No.
You got at least another 20 years, girl. Slow down.
Take your time with it. And I said, y'all, I told her, I said, marriage is work.
It is.
It's work, man. You sure you won't do this? You sure you won't do this? Because we say I do, ain't no going back. No going back. No give backs. No.
It is great because you don't hear the stories of, it's so easy to quit, and that's the problem. Life, like me and my wife, man, we got more issues than a magazine stand, right?
For sure.
But we fight through them.
Yeah, we do.
Good, bad, and it's like she's a phenomenal mom, right? Yeah. Incredible wife, and it's like that's what's sexy. Like people are like, I'm like being a great mom. That's sexy, right? Taking care of the castle, taking care of the kids. Like I love that, but we still have problems, right? But we don't. There's not a thought of I want to move on or be done or what else is out there. It's like, no, we're gonna fix this because that's the story. It's like work, right? It is. But it's like a career, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. But it's like if I own Results Roofing and I start this thing and I quit after a year, that's not a story to remember. Mm-hmm. Nobody says about that. Nobody talks about, oh, well, you worked there for 2-3 years and you quit. Oh, no one goes and tells you, Dustin, you were married for 2 years. Oh, great, man, phenomenal. How was it? But they see that 20 year, that 30 year, and they go, man, what did you do? Like, how did you do it? It's like we just didn't quit, right? Yeah. Like we kept going, and so it's like I don't want to quit, man. I want to be there because my wife was there when I had nothing. She was there when I was like you said, I had this vision for a long time, but I didn't really know what the vision was. Yeah. I didn't know precisely, but I knew what, you know what I mean? I knew I wanted to do something, and she believed in me when no one else did. She was there when no one else there. So
that's good. My wife pushed, I'm glad you said that because I don't think that when it comes to men and entrepreneurs, honor their wives how they should honor their wives. Yeah. In the public.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like my wife, she pushed me into entrepreneurship. We had gotten married. I had lost my job 30 days before we got married.
Wow, that's crazy.
I closed a real estate transaction, made $10,000. That paid for our wedding.
That's awesome.
Got a new job at Xerox and worked there for 6 months, and then they let me go. We just bought 2 new cars. And so I'm getting on 635 coming from a Capel, and I called my wife and I said, honey, they let me go. And she said, maybe it's not for you to be an employee. Maybe you should be an entrepreneur. I sat back and said, what? She said, let's do this here. I'm working in public schooling right now. I make pretty good money, right? We're going to tighten the belt a little bit. You build a business, and I go work.
That's awesome.
And I just said, what? And we found out after that she was pregnant a month after that. Wow. So I just said, Lord, what you doing here? And for the first, 5 years, it was tough, man. Yeah. We tightened the belt, man. We had a lot of, at times, our account was going into negative. And that's how we survived. Yeah. That's how we survived, man. And all of a sudden, at year 5, it began to take off.
Took off.
And off and off. Now I'm like, hey, honey, I'll go make the money.
Yeah.
Right? You teach if you want to teach. I'll make the money so we can take care of all our kids now. And so I'm the first millionaire in my family, period.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. I love that.
Sure.
It's like similar timeline. So I worked for other people, right? We got married. Found out we were pregnant. I lost my job. Wow. She was working. We had our first kid. I got a job back, really good job, making $150, $175 a year. This is 6 years ago. Yeah. And it was good. She was at home, but I wasn't happy. So ironically, I got the position I wanted. Yeah. I was making the money I wanted, but I was miserable. And I didn't know why. And I think I wanted to, I didn't care about being my own boss. That was a weird thing. I didn't care about being my own boss. I didn't care about making my own schedule. I love to work and I love to create. Mm-hmm. And I called my wife up and I said, I can't do this anymore. She's like, I support you in whatever you do. So we moved back. We were living in Detroit. We moved back to Dallas. I got into roofing and same thing. Hey man, wife wasn't working. We maxed out credit cards. I was driving Uber Eats just to feed the family. So I was working all day and then getting off and driving Uber Eats, hoping someone would cancel their order so we could eat. Barely paying rent, counting the negative. I remember, $300 in our checking account. She calls me up. She's like, babe, I'm going back to work. It just devastated me. There's nothing wrong with like women working, but look, man, I'm old school guy. I want to support my wife. I want her to take care of the kids. And it broke me. And I was like, man, I got to use this to drive. And she's like, maybe you need to do your own thing, And I was like, yeah, maybe you're right. So we started doing our own thing, and the same thing. It was tough. Like she was working, found out she was pregnant again. So our second kid, during COVID, and we opened our business during COVID, found out she's pregnant. And we couldn't afford daycare. So I was having to take our 2-year-old with me every day while building the business, right? Yeah. Brutal. And but she supported me, and I knew it was like when she had her kid, I'm like, you need to quit your job and kick your feet up. If you want to go to work, I'll buy you a business. Like, you want to do something, let's support, but you take care of the kids. And I can say, it's like, you don't see that in the limelight, like, but I couldn't do what I do if she didn't take care of the kids. Yeah. There's absolutely no way. She doesn't get enough credit for that. And people don't understand it because it's tough. And I know I've heard people say, oh, why do you guys have somebody that comes cleans the house? She doesn't work. Because why wouldn't I?
There we go.
Why wouldn't I give her the opportunity to go get a babysitter and go spend the day to get her hair done and nails done? Why wouldn't I have her somebody come help clean the house? Sure. Why wouldn't I have someone cook so I can spend more time with her and enjoy it? Man. It's crazy, man.
I like buying back my time. If I can pass on a responsibility away from my wife to where she frees up her time to love on herself, number one, and number two, love on me, and then of course, and then the kids. I'll do that in a second. There's no price I won't pay to get it done, because he who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yes.
So I'm gonna take care of my good thing, because if I don't, somebody else will do it.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of strategies behind that. My wife is a great source of wise counsel. Right now, DJ, I'm negotiating probably the biggest deal of my life. It's a 10-figure deal, international.
Let's go.
And I'm like, all right, Lord, I'm a young brother from East Texas, man. You can drive through the town in 2 minutes.
Yeah. I'm
like, Lord, you have me in these rooms to where, I'm negotiating with a company that they actually fund governments.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, for $3 trillion that have to have access over. And I'm like, this is, and they want to give me all of this, all the money that I needed. And I'm like, well, Lord, why am I here? Well, it's for his kingdom.
Yeah.
It's for his kingdom, it's for me to be able to, I see the storm coming, DG. There's an economic storm coming.
Yeah, it's a big one.
So I'm like, Lord, if you're positioned to be a modern day Daniel or a modern day Joseph in the Bible, to where people can tap into and say, what do you need? Here you go. Because I see it, so there's going to be a lot of people that don't have access to capital.
At all.
A lot of people. It's up to us to be able to say, okay, what you need?
Yeah.
Here you go. No problem. Let's structure a deal that works best for everybody. What's the growth strategy? Let's get it going. Let's begin to solve problems ourselves, not really depend on the government.
You can't, man. I get it. I got, what was it? We were just doing a podcast the other day, and the guy was like, what's your political stance? I said, man, you get into, I said, no, that's not why I don't get into it. Because I was like, you're not going to understand. Because you want me to pick left or right. And I'm not going to do that. Because you know what? As an entrepreneur, we have 120 people that work here. I stimulate the economy. There's 120 families that depend on me as an owner, founder, CEO in the vision, that if I make stupid decisions and bad mistakes, I affect all these people, right? Vendors, there's probably 200 plus when you count vendors and everything else. I said, so look, I lean hard right when it comes to that, because I want to be able to use the money how I can, because I give back, I invest, I do all these things. On the flip side, I lean so far left because I don't want to see people discriminated by their race, their religion, where they come from, the right way. I want to help people, and I do want to give back, but I don't want to give all my money back. And I'm like, so I don't lean that way. I don't pick a side. I pick what makes sense for me, and people can't understand that.
Well, people ask me a question, Dale, what do you lean? And I said, I'm Democrat light and a Republic light, because God isn't riding the back of a donkey's or elephants.
Exactly.
That's how I think.
Yes.
I think through kingdom first. People ask me, what's your stance on abortion? Great question. What does the king say? Yeah, that's my opinion.
That's awesome.
Because servants don't have opinions. Don't have opinions at all. Yeah. They follow what the king says. In the kingdom, that's the one thing that I tell believers in Christ is, be careful with smuggling a democratic Republican type of structure into the Bible, because that's not what it is. It's a book about a king and his kingdom and his royal children. So when Christ is talking, that's a king talking. So what's the function of a king? When a king speaks, notice if you begin to study history of a king, kings very rarely spoke. Because what they actually said became the law itself. So I had scribes following them all around the whole time. So when people ask me about politics, I always say, guys, I'm a Democrat light, Republican light.
Love that.
That's how I am.
Yeah.
I do what the king tells me to do.
That's a weird. So did you always have this relationship with the Lord? And if not, when did it happen? And was there something that happened that led to this?
I was introduced to the Lord by my dad when I was first grade.
Okay.
Interesting. I came home from school and I lied about something my dad
You got
knew.
introduced to a few things.
and he was like, you lying to me, don't you? I'm like, oh man. And so he let me know this is not good. And of course, that's when he shared the gospel with me. And I accepted Christ as my Savior. I began running around the house saying, I'm saved, I'm saved, I'm saved. And this big old load came off of my shoulders. That's when I began walking with the Lord. Little did I know is I needed that, because that same father was beating my dad. Was beating my mom.
Oh, wow.
Was beating her like she was a man.
Yeah, that's how I went through that.
So I'll never forget one time, man. I was two times. The first time was my room was always across from theirs in that first house, and I'm asleep, but I'm not asleep, and I hear my mom and dad in there kind of shouting, and all I hear is a slap. And my mom saying, "I told you don't you ever hit me again." That's when I first understood that domestic violence was going on in the house.
Yeah.
Then the one thing that kind of sticks out in my head is at our last house when I was in high school. I was downstairs cutting a friend's hair, and all of a sudden I'm hearing my mom and dad argue, and my sister's upstairs, and all I hear is a slap again, and then a boom. My mom's head hit the toilet, and her mouth began to bleed, and I heard, and then I see her. Then I heard two more slaps, and I hear my sister saying, "Daddy, no, Daddy, no." And that rested in my head.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what's going on? My dad was so drunk he blacked out. You know what he did. About 10 minutes later, the police officer showed up at my house and took him out. My mom was bleeding from the mouth.
Yeah.
And that stuck in my head. Then my dad came back to the house after he got bailed out. I told him, I said, you're not my hero again. You're not. Because of what you keep on doing. And so ever since then, my dad and I's relationship at the time was fractured. Fractured. He never made that right.
Yeah.
He never did at all. And so for me, that taught me what not to do to a woman.
Yeah.
So I would never lay a hand on my wife.
It's I think that's a tough for me. The same thing. It's like that's why I ran away from home. That's how I ended up homeless at 14. I got my stepdad would just beat the shit out of my mom. And it was like I remember those screams and those cries. I'm like, man, I used to sleep next to my mom in hopes that, because there was times like I didn't know my mom was alive. And so it'd be like, I hope he beats me first, so he kills me before he does my mom. And I was a child, right? Like,
sure.
And it's crazy you say that. I got to ask you the day, like, what's the ultimate goal in life? And like, why these decisions and why do I try to make things right? 'Cause I'm like, man, I spent a lot of time making things wrong and I'm trying to make them right. And I said, the one thing I'd never want to hear, exactly what you said, is like, Dad, you're not my hero. I swear on everything, I literally verbatim was the exact same thing. It's like my biggest fear in life is my kids one day are going to say, Dad, you're not our hero. And so I try to model my behavior, and I don't always get it right, of course, but I tried my best to just any little thing, man, I can to kids. Like even just like for my wife's birthday this past weekend, we were together, and I sent her flowers to the house, even though I knew she wasn't there, but a set from me, a set from the kids, and one from the family. Like, baby, I love you. Baby daddy. And then it was like, hey, from the kids specifically. And they took the photos and it was like little things. And like our kids go to the store and they're like, Dad, we got to get mom flowers. But I and it's not just that, but it's like, I want to be your hero. Like I want to set it right. I want to do things that make you proud that I'm your dad. Like I had the choice to bring you in this world. You didn't have the choice. And so it's crazy you say that, because that's literally like my biggest fear in life is
it's good that you're showing that to your kids. You're showing them how a man should treat a woman. Yeah. How she should be cherished. How she's a rose. And also with your daughter, that lets her know what to expect when it comes to a man pursuing her. If you ain't meeting what my dad is doing, Mom, you're off. No.
Yeah.
Period. So when it comes to my little girls, it's interesting. The guys that actually are pursuing my 15-year-old, and there's several suitors, they always say, "Man, I respect your dad." I
That's
said, "Why?"
awesome.
She said, "Why?" Man, because he loves you so well. And I always say I can still excel more. I
Yeah.
can still listen better. I can still be more present. And she said, "But Dad, that's why I love you most, because you don't settle.
Yeah.
You keep trying to push for that higher call every time." Because I tell everybody, I bring nothing of value to the table. All value I bring to the table is Christ and Christ alone.
Except I did tell my wife the other day. She goes, "You want a man treating your daughter like you treat me sometimes?" I go, "When it's that time of the month, then he deserves to be treated that way." I was like,
Come
yeah.
on.
I was like, "Hey,
Preach that gospel, baby.
if you're acting like that, then yeah,
For sure.
you got to." What but anything, to maintain a relationship. How old are you?
44.
44. So you said first grade was when you kind of introduced to the
Yes.
Lord. So first grade. So obviously this is almost a 38-year relationship.
Sure.
Has there been things in your life that has strengthened it? Like, has
yeah.
there been things that like really impacted you with your Lord, and any of those you want to talk to?
Two things. Number one, I'm a firm believer in discipleship, mentorship, and really discipleship, life on life. And Pastor Robert Triggs took me on his wing and taught me how to be a man and a husband after God's own heart. He's a modern day Job. I've never seen him mad. I've never seen him cuss at all. To this day, he and I walk together still. We meet every week.
That's amazing.
And we just sit down and we just talk. How's life going? And we hold each other accountable, which is great. That man changed the whole trajectory of my family. Because all I had was what my dad was showing me.
Yeah.
So he showed me how a man of God should be operating. Even when the man is wounded, he showed me that, because he got wounded deeply by his wife, his ex-wife at the time, because unfortunately she divorced him. He got remarried. He didn't want a divorce at all, but she divorced him just because she didn't want to be a pastor's wife no more. And so he showed me how to even love and walk wisely through wounds. But probably, DJ, the biggest struggle was when we lost our son. Because of the fact that I remember, man, I was laying on the couch. My wife was it's our third child, and I'm laying on the couch. She's in the hospital. She had preeclampsia. That's normal. And so she calls me Sunday morning and says, "You need to come right now." She's crying. I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like, "I'm bleeding. Come now." Got the kids, and took them over to their aunt's house. And I'm driving in the car, DG, and I said, "Lord, do it again. Shock the world and raise him from the dead. But if you don't, prepare me for what you're about to put me through. I'll run into the hospital, man, sprinting." I lock eyes with the doctor. And she said, "Mr. Bucks?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She paused. I said, "He's gone, isn't he?" She said, "Yes." I said, "So we can't go back in?" She says, "No. Unfortunately, how God designed the body is the placenta separated from the wall. And it was either your son or your wife. And how God designed the body, the wife was preserved." And so this is new information, DG. So I'm like, so I didn't walk around the corner to the room, lock eyes with my wife. She loses it. She's going through it physically.
Yeah.
I said, I'm just like,
man,
what's going on here? And what tripped me out is, as I'm consoling her, the doctor walks in and says, "We have to go to labor and delivery." Says, if you don't get your son out, your wife's going to die because her liver is shutting down.
Yeah.
And I said, so we had to go to the labor and delivery room and go through a C-section, got him out, and then you hear Michael Emmanuel Buggs, time of birth X, time of death X in the same breath. That's chilling. Now, I'm holding my son, DJ, in my hands, deceased. And I can't blame the doctor, my wife, and other nurses. This is God himself. And so they wheel us out while I have my son in my hands into our room. And now my daughters are there.
Wow.
And I said, hold on 1 second. So I had to go tell everybody what was going on. My mom was there, my dad was there, My best friend Jason Hanna was there, and I walk out. I tell my mom, she loses it. I haven't mourned yet, DG.
Yeah.
So I have to console my mama now. And my dad was like, it's gonna be okay. But my best friend came to me. I walked in, I saw him, he had his Bible open. He said, Dad, what can I pray for you about, man? I said that I don't lean to my own understanding. Because if I do, man, I'll go crazy. That's when I exhaled for the first time, and I broke down. And so I went back into the room, DG, and I'm holding the baby in my hand, my son, and I began to hum the hymn, Hallelujah. My wife began humming it. My daughters began singing it. And the doctor began singing. She said, what are you guys doing? I said, worshiping. All thing I do right now, all thing I do right now is just to worship my King, the very one that's causing the wound. And so we're humming and praising God at our lowest. But then my daughter asked me a question. She said, Dad, if God is so good, why did he take Michael from us? I said, baby, that's a great question. Can I give you a different perspective? She said, sure. I said, baby, do we have all the facts? She says, no. I said, it's kind of like having puzzle pieces, right? She said, yeah. I said, who has all the facts? She said, well, Jesus does. I said, so it's kind of like he has the entire puzzle put together. She said, yeah. I said, now, is it wise to make decisions on half the facts or all the facts? She said, well, Dad, all the facts. I said, that's why we trust that he knows what's best for us and why he allowed this to happen. She said, Dad, that's the most logically and wisest response you can ever get to me. But DG, I was struggling.
Yeah.
Because this is me and him now. And so I remember me driving in the car, and I'm bawling like a little boy, man. I said, Lord, this hurts. He said, son, tell me how you feel about me. I said, Lord, I want to cuss you out. I want to flick you off. I want to spit in your face. And he said, son, yeah, I can respect that. He said, can I give you a different perspective? I said, sure, Lord. He said, you don't think it hurt me to see my son get beat for doing nothing? But then LaDale, he's hanging on the cross, and he asked a question to me. And he knew the answer, and I turned my back on him. And I just said, Jesus. I said, well, Lord, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I said, but Lord, your son got up. And in 3 days, I sent it to your right hand, and he's there now. The son that you gave me a desire to have and actually allowed me to have for a short period of time, you allowed to be taken from me, and I won't see him into glory, and even you control that. DG, he said, LaDale, you're right, and the discussion was over. It was, I am God. You're not. Be okay with that. That's why, DG, I'm okay with the unknown, man. That doesn't mean I don't plan. But that was probably the toughest time for us, for my family, me personally, as a father and a husband, because it was me and him. Me and him. It was a Job moment, man. And at times the emotions come, DG.
Yeah.
And I'll be in the meeting, and all of a sudden they just come out of nowhere. And I said, give me a second. And it's a passage, I think it's Philippians 3:11. It says that I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering. Man, we don't like to suffer, but that's part of the fellowship with him. When we worship God, it's us responding to his goodness. But the one thing about it is a relationship, so it's give and take. Mm-hmm. What does he receive from us? Suffering. So he has to share that with us as well also. And so when he comes in, man, and those emotions come, I said, Lord, I'm listening. Because it's fellowship with you. Let's get it.
It's crazy. I'm going to tell you how screwed up my family was. I lost a brother at a young age. Like, he was older than me. It was like my weird, lost him to suicide. So it was just brutal, right? Didn't understand. And it was the times I was going through the most difficult stuff in my life when I was 13 is when he did it. And then by 14, I was homeless and bouncing around and just everything you can imagine. And I never understood it. And it really, really fractured my relationship with God. Like, and to a point, because I was a kid and I had nobody to reel me back in.
Understood.
And it wasn't until, I say recently, and probably more towards having my son, who will be 7 in June, was that I started to understand. And it was almost like, I don't want to say guardian angel, but it was almost like part of him was gone so I could live this better life, right? And I felt the first time the pain go away, which I knew was like, okay, there is a higher power, was when I held my son. I felt all the pain I'd ever suffered in my life was like, someone put me through all this pain to have this moment. And I wouldn't be able to cherish this moment unless I had that pain. And it was always like, you put me through that, which I never thought I'd get over, to go through this moment. And I cherished that moment, you know, and it's like, but it's crazy how those emotions still come over to me to this day. Like you said, you'll be in a random place and you're like, oh, like that, and you gotta go with it, and you gotta be okay with it. And it's I think it's part of being a man too, right? And I don't want to be like, oh man, tough, you don't show emotion. And man's not about not showing emotion. You show emotion, but you do things in spite of the emotion. You be there for you, and you got to do that for. That's why I told my wife the other day. She's like, well, are you tired, or why are you doing this? I go, because I have to. It doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. All that matters is that I do these things for you, the kids, yourself, because you need me. Somebody put this in me. I have to be able to take this. I have no other choice, right?
Yeah. I tell them, lean into the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, God has a lot of powerful things to show you, brother.
Yeah.
A lot of powerful things to show you. If it wasn't for Michael passing away, my son, my youngest daughter wouldn't have came to the kingdom. She accepted Christ as a Savior. I said, why? She said, number one, I love the Lord, and I want to serve him. And number two, I want to see Michael again. I said, oh, she ready.
Wow.
She ready. So she accepted Christ as a Savior. And to see how God ministered to them, how they were mourning too, because they were young. They were young, man. They go through the whole thing. So to this day, I still get questions from them. And I think his birthday is in a couple of months. I know we normally detach from the world and just sit down, man, and just worship, man, and cry a little bit.
We were like crazy. My oldest Connor, we never pushed religion on him, right?
Sure.
And actually I have a photo of this, which is freaky. I'll send you. It was I can't remember what day. It was a random day. My wife and Kobe are sleeping in the bed. So I go to work, and it's one of those early days, 7 a.m. I snap a photo, and I'm like, man, if you could sum up my life's joy in one photo, this is it. Wife slaying with my 2 boys. Like, this is, if you ever question why I go do what I do, you're not going to get me to quit, right?
That's good, brother.
So I posted, noticed anything by it.
Yeah.
And I get a comment on Facebook. We're not going to talk about the ghost baby in the photo. I'm like, man, what are these dudes talking about? And I go look at the photo, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, wow.
There is literally like a face in a photo, like a baby, like laying next to my wife. Man, it's like chills.
Wow.
Here's what's even freakier. My brother's name was William John, right? So Billy John. Connor, by the way, Gianna is almost 2 now. So you figure Connor's 6. He's like 3.
Yeah.
He really gets into like, oh, Jesus, I want to learn about God. Can I go to Christian school? Like, where did you get this from, right? So he goes, Mommy, you're pregnant. And we're like, what? Wow. He's like, Mommy, you're pregnant. Here's the thing. Both of our kids, I had to go see a specialist for us to have a kid, right? So we know that we have to have a specialist. He's like, Mommy, you're pregnant. She's like, no, I'm not, Connor. Johnny told me. Johnny. He's like, Johnny did. And he swear, Connor goes, Mommy, Jesus told me that you're pregnant. That's what he said. Like,
wow.
We're like, what? By the way, he had never been to church at the time.
Gotcha.
He's talking about Johnny. Hey, man, 2 months later,
pregnant.
My wife was pregnant, went to get a checkup, and she's pregnant with Gianna, which, by the way, she wanted a daughter. So, look, I don't care who you believe in. I'm not trying to push my beliefs on you. I'm just telling you that there's something out there that you should pay attention to because it's all around you. And it's super special, however you want to deal with it. And I felt it. So change the subject a little bit. We got on the topic. And I started a war on social media, by the way.
A war. I'm smelling this is going basketball.
It is. Okay. So I post. So we're putting this on here. We're putting this on there. I posted a war, or I posted the clip of Kobe and LeBron.
Yeah.
Okay. Here I'm looking at it. This is Instagram only. So one video has 7.3 million views.
Wow.
The other one has 4 million views. I just posted these within the last 72 hours.
Wow.
I'm a Kobe homer. Okay, I fully understand. My son's name's Kobe. Yeah. My daughter's name's Gianna. By the way, one was born on the 8th and one's born on the 24th.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm actually don't think Kobe's the GOAT. I think Jordan's the GOAT.
Sure.
I want to know your take on this, on who's the GOAT. And my belief when you go is that I can listen to you if you want to tell me LeBron's better than Kobe. I don't agree with you, and I probably will lose respect for you, but I will listen, okay? But if you try to tell me that anyone's better than Jordan, I feel like there should be Jordan, and then we can debate.
For sure.
What's your take on
I agree. Jordan is the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Ever. And why? Why?
Jordan changed the entire game. He didn't change from shoes to viewership. It was clear to see.
Yeah.
When it came to Jordan and in this era, he was clearly the best player on the planet. When it came to NBA going global, how he negotiated his deal with Nike, skill level, he was technically sound. I would study when I was playing ball. I would study his movement. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah. How
methodical he was. That's why I say Kobe's number 2. Kobe just mimicked Michael.
Yeah, he did. It's crazy.
And I'd be honest with you. I think Kobe has better handles than Michael did. He does. They're probably even when it comes to defense, and their mentalities are the exact same thing. I love when Kobe was talking about Michael. Him and Michael were sitting down for dinner, and Michael said, "Now, man, if he was prime, I'll kick your ass." And then Kobe said, "Michael, please, man, enjoy your salad. Stop that, man. Stop." Yeah, after they were like, "I love you, man. I love you too," because at the exact same time, Mamba mentality. Now let's go to LeBron. Soft. And we have film between him and Kobe. Film. Stop it. I'll ask you 2 questions. Did players fear Michael?
He was the most feared. Don't look him in the eyes. Like,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Question number 2. Do players fear Kobe?
They still do.
Question number 3. Do players fear LeBron?
Not at all.
Case closed.
Yeah. I believe the game's evolved, right? So I hate when people say, well, Jordan played against less athletes. Yes, of course, but Jordan was a less of an athlete.
Sure.
People run faster now and jump higher now than they did then, right?
Sure.
Here's the argument. They're like, well, stats. Okay, stats are bogus because here's why. Kevin Durant's the number 8 all-time leading scorer. James Harden's number 20. Russell Westbrook's 24. So think about that for a second. Russell Westbrook is the 24th leading scorer in NBA history. Kevin Durant's number 8. And if you even think that those guys are close to being one of the greatest ever, that's insane. Now, Kevin Durant's so skilled, and I think LeBron is probably the best athletic basketball player I've ever seen. Like, plays defense, like, he's phenomenal.
He's a physical freak.
It's insane, but it's like, I don't know. I think it's weird where you rank him because I think here's what's going to happen. I think Anthony Edwards is going to take the league by storm.
He is a problem.
He is insane. He's so young. He's going to take the league by storm. And I think what you're going to see is we're going to see the evolution of what we saw from Jordan to Kobe's era, right?
Yes.
With because even Melo's what, number 10 or something like that on all-time scoring?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. But you saw the increase in scoring from Jordan to Kobe era. Now you're seeing it from the Kobe kind of LeBron era.
You got to look at the rules, though. The rules got a lot softer.
So, hand checking.
They used to kill Jordan.
Yeah.
Kill him, bro.
So we 24 Hour Fitness, we'll go basketball before we end this. And I 100% agree with you. And I want to know your top 5 outside of Jordan. So we'll go position by position.
Okay.
We 24 Hour Fitness.
Okay.
They had Magic Johnson sport clubs and all that. So we're at a convention. Magic was there, and all these people were asking questions, right? Like, Magic this, Magic that. And, Magic's like, charismatic guy. He's laughing, smiling. And one of the guys goes, who's the best player of all time? And you saw this, like, almost anger come on his face. Like, he, like, looked at the dude, and he's like, he goes, Michael Jordan, stupid question. And, like, next. And everyone got, like, silent. And we're like, oh my God, like, well, hey, what happened? And then, so he goes, man, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm competitive. He's like, he started telling us about the Dream Team game, the Redeem Team game. But he started talking about how, like, Jordan multiple times, like, they would razz him because he was the young cat. He'd come back. They'd be up 19-1 playing 1s and 2s, and Jordan would come back 20 straight and do all these things. And he asked a question, and he said it one of the guys, I can't remember who was there. It was Magic, and then it was another basketball player, and I can't remember who. He said, let me ask you a question. He started talking about, he's like, who's the second greatest player in Jordan's era? And everyone was like, I don't know. Like, people had to think for a minute. And he goes, exactly, you don't remember. because no one existed but Jordan. And I was like, oh my God, like it's
Man.
crazy.
I think this here, when it comes, Jordan changed the game. Of course, Kobe he was a freak as well. LeBron did as well.
Yeah.
I think you know what really changed the game? It wasn't LeBron in this era. It was Steph Curry. Mm-hmm. I had to guard someone like that in college.
It's
You know how
wild.
hard it is to guard? You run for 17,000 screens.
Yeah.
And then your postmen don't show. So you run around all these damn screens. They have crazy endurance, man, and the shot is so freaking quick. He's a threat when he actually takes a step over half court.
Yeah.
He hit that consistently. That is ridiculous. You know how hard it is to actually guard. Again, LeBron, he's a freak of nature. But it's a lot harder to guard someone like a Curry.
Yeah.
It's so hard. I can tell you right now, just for experience, I hated guarding people like that.
Yeah, he did. He changed. I think he brought a lot of fans in, and I think LeBron. It's like, look, man, you went and formed the big three. You got 2 of your 4 championships, and with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, and even Ray Allen. It's like, come on, man. Like,
on, bro.
you got those 4 there, right? That won a championship. It wasn't even the big 3. It's really a big 4, right?
Yeah.
They dominated. Which you got 2 there. You get back. You got 1 with Kyrie. Okay, that one was real. But it's like we don't give Kobe love. Like, dude, he won it with Gasol. Gasol wasn't that. They're like, oh, he had Gasol. It's like, well, he won 2 with Gasol, right? He won 2 with Gasol, and I think it was one of the years. What is the most 50? They went through the most 50 win teams ever in NBA history to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's not taken away from LeBron. I don't know where you rank him. Obviously, he's got to be top 10, but I want to know for you.
I have here's my top 5.
Top 5.
Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Kareem, Magic.
Magic. So if you had to get a starting 5 all time, number 1 for point guard.
Point guard. Oh, okay, you do it like this.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it like that.
Okay, point guard. I would say, man, I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna say.
You're not gonna take Magic?
Depends on what I need, but yeah.
Magic. But if not Magic, who?
Damian Lillard.
Really?
Damian Lillard, man. Dame time is.
You're going Dame time all time.
Dame time. Yeah, man. He's so hard to guard because he can lead an offense, but if you need a bucket,
You get a bucket.
it's your bucket. Magic, although his size, he's the greatest point guard of all time. And I even say Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
That's what he's number 2. But Magic she's gonna give you maybe 18, 19. That's about it.
Yeah.
She's gonna give you 10, 15, 20 assists.
Guard all 5.
All 5, which is great. So I take Magic over Dame time. But if you want me a starting 5, I'll probably go with Magic number 1, and my sub would actually be Dame.
Big Dame. I like that. We'll go sub. Yeah, I would take Magic number 1 for sure.
For sure.
I like Magic, but I would actually go with probably you did Steph Curry just because he shoots the lights out. I'd go with the Steph.
Steph.
It's just because he could shoot. You could add.
Yeah. Steph, he can shoot, but I'll take Dame over Steph right now because of the fact that Steph is a dog.
Yeah.
But Dame is a dog too.
And-
Dame can get you a bucket.
Yeah, he
Get you
can.
a bucket.
Even Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul's so underrated.
Oh, yeah.
He's just there. All right, 2 guard, Jordan Kobe.
stop.
Jordan Kobe off the bench.
Yeah.
3. This is where I think if you're going 3, so you got Magic,
LeBron.
Dame, Kobe. You got LeBron. Who's coming off the bench? 3.
I would say it's a 3 guard. I'm going through my mind real fast. Larry Bird.
As much as it hurts me to say, I actually have Larry in my top 5, and I hate that because I can't stand the Celtics.
Bird, man, Bird was a white black dude. That's what he really
Balling
was.
out of control from Indiana.
He was, but man, the dude came in at All-Star game and said, "Who getting second?"
Yeah.
And went out
And did that.
with a shooting shirt on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro.
Larry Legend, bro.
Larry was low key a dog, man.
Hey, those passes, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. Four for me. Tim Duncan.
Yeah, Timmy D.
Tim Duncan, boy, and then off the bench, Karl Malone.
Carl, you go with the mailman.
With the mailman,
Yeah,
yeah.
3. I think I would start Larry over LeBron, and I know I'm a hater, but I'm not. I'm there. They're both there. Like I'm giving LeBron his props.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4. I'm not. I don't hate. You know what? No. Listen.
Hold
okay.
on, DJ.
I don't hate LeBron.
What's your issue with LeBron?
Listen,
bro?
First of all, I want to preface this. I actually love LeBron as a father and a man and a human. What he's done for the community, what he's done for his sons and his family, man, there's very few people in the world I actually have more respect for than that.
Amen. Hallelujah. Let's go back to the basketball.
Yeah, I love that.
That's wonderful. That's great, bro. Basketball
love that.
and go.
Listen, I am
all this PC stuff. Come on, man.
I am a Kobe guy. Okay, first and foremost, and I just don't think he's in that class. And so look, it's not LeBron's fault.
Why?
It's not LeBron's fault.
And all this PC stuff, man. Come on, we're debating, man.
I don't like the flopping. I don't think he's clutch.
Talk to me.
And I think, listen, I'm a Lakers fan, and I don't count the championship, LeBron. Okay, you're 3 and 9 in the finals.
Yes, sir.
3 and 9 in the finals. 3 and 9.
Yes,
you're 3 and 9.
Yes.
You're not clutch.
No,
you're not clutch.
He's not.
Okay,
he's not.
You're not. It's like this.
Not.
Brady is 7 and 10 in the Super Bowls, and we give him so much crap for losing those 3. But let's be realistic. One of them was the guy caught it on a freaking helmet after Eli gets sacked, but he lost it. However you want to say it.
He lost.
LeBron, if you want to say it, he's 4 and 10.
Yeah.
But we give him all this love. Well, he didn't have a team around him. Come on, man. That's out. So that's why. So it's not LeBron's fault. It's just I'm a hater. I admit I'm a hater. I'm a hater.
Let us know you're a hater, bro.
I'm a hater.
All this
I'm a
PC
hater.
stuff, man. Come on.
I'm a hater, but I don't like the flopping. I don't like the whole look. It's like they said. Look, Cash Money said it best. You're in the huddle or out the huddle.
Check.
And I always feel like 1 minute he's in, 1 minute he's out. It's always like, whoa, basketball competitor. You know what I like? This is what I like. And this is what I can't stand. As a business owner, if you're a roofing company, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to vacation with you. I don't want to talk to you. If you do a roof, that takes money out of the people I care about the most, family. I have roofing people here that if they sell a roof, they feed their kids. I don't want to be your friend. I just don't like the whole LeBron wants to be friends with people, vacation with people on other teams. I just don't like that. So it's hard for me to relate. Respect the man's game. He's done incredible work. I'm just a hater. I don't like it.
It's all good, man. For me, when it comes to LeBron, I just think that he's not soft. I think that he didn't have the dog in him.
That killer instinct, yeah.
I mean, with Kobe and Jordan, I'll give you an example. You watched the Redeem Team.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man, when it came to Spain and they said, who's taking the last shot? What did they all say?
Kobe. Without a doubt.
Enough said, and it came out of LeBron's mouth, Dwayne Wade's mouth, Chris Bosh. Everybody said it was Kobe. Kobe said, I'm taking the last shot.
Remember, LeBron took off after the Redeem Team of working out with Kobe because he took his game to another level with the workouts in the early morning, and he had that factor. The same thing running through Gasol. Like, I'm going to set the tone. They're like, oh my God, he just had that killer. And I love that because that's who I am. Like, if you're with me, I'm with you. If you're against me, you're dead to me. I'm coming for it all. That's just how I am.
Sure.
I'm not saying it's right.
I got you, man. So number 5, man, Shaq.
You take Shaq. He's the most dominant player ever. Can we listen?
Shaq,
screw
man.
Jordan. Screw Kobe. Shaq is the most dominant ever.
Guys, 7'1".
Yeah.
320. Stop that.
He's the most dominant ever. Ever.
That is a offensive lineman.
Yes.
Moving like that.
Yes.
That is ridiculous. And then I have Kareem I'll come off the bench.
Kareem called, but see, 4 Timmy D, and then I feel like you build
and I gotta say on 4, I gotta have a second one. My man Kevin Garnett, the big ticket.
big Kevin Garnett is legit, and
that's
I think
my dude.
5, man, Shaq for sure. And I know people are gonna call me a homer when I say Kareem. Because I Kareem, but also you got to give Hakeem a lot of props too. He's right there. I forgot
about the Dream, man.
He's right
the Dream
there.
Show, he filleted Shaq.
He's there. He's there.
Filleted Shaq.
But so was David Rob. I mean, like there was a list there, but I think if you got to, it can't be asterisk.
Okay, here we go, DG. Give me your top 5 PGs
ever.
Yes, top 5.
Magic,
no order.
Magic. Man, all time. I'm thinking, I love Jerry West, but see, I'm a homer, but he's not top.
Zeke?
Top 5.
Zeke? Isaiah Thomas?
No, I'm there. I'm just thinking of list. Magic. Actually, just true point guards.
Just 2 point guards.
True point guards. I would actually go John Stockton.
There we go.
Then I would go Isaiah. I would actually probably put Chris Paul there.
Okay, yeah.
And then I do think Steph Curry because of the shooting, man. I just think he did there.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 guards.
2 Jordan, Kobe.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Man. Clyde's there. Also,
Oscar Robertson.
I'm thinking Pistons. Joe Dumars.
Joe Dumars.
I like Joe Dumars. You know why? D'd people up. Legit. I'm thinking.
Did he just say Joe Dumars?
I didn't say number 2. I'm naming people.
Top 5?
No. Hey, listen.
Ain't nobody on the history of the man that said Joe Dumars.
I said I'm naming.
Yeah, I gotta check your whole.
No.
Joe Dumars?
No, I'm naming. I'm going Jordan, Kobe, because I don't even care after Jordan and Kobe. To be honest with you, I'm running with those 2.
Joe Dumars. No Luka, nothing like that.
You can't put Luka there yet.
Huh?
Not yet. Top 5 all time? Not yet.
Okay. You got 2. Give me 3 of them then.
Hey, y'all need. Why
I said
tripping?
Joe Dumars. Y'all. This is gonna be something. All right, make this into a clip, y'all. Joe Dumars. He said top
Joe.
5 shooter.
No, I'm naming
Joe Dumars.
Hey, Joe was legit.
My man said Joe Dumars, man.
I didn't say 5. I'm saying all
DJ,
time.
Bro, we got to check your whole pulse now, man.
No.
This is Joe Dumars, bro.
I'm naming people. I would go Clyde number 3.
Okay.
Clyde number 3.
Joe Dumars.
And see, I don't even care after Kobe and Jordan.
See, that's the PC.
No, that's not PC because I don't care. Because you know why? Because I go 3. I go Larry. I go LeBron, of course.
Okay.
Man, I hate to say it, but he's just good. Kevin Durant is up there. Because Kevin Durant's up there. Kevin Durant is legit. Hey, man, this one really hurts me to say, but the guy always won, Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce was
the truth.
Was legit. I mean,
truth.
I hate to say Paul Pierce.
Yes, he was. I'm still waiting on Oscar Robinson's name. I'm waiting on that one.
But was Oscar 2?
Oscar was a 2.
3. I thought he was a 3.
He was a 2. That's why I went on the 2.
Well, I thought he was a 3. So I 2,
Okay.
100% Oscar at 2. I was going to put Oscar at a 3. Oscar 2. Man. Hey, man. I don't know after 3. I would say after 3, there's so many people that are there. 4, Timmy D, Kevin Durant. Man, even though he didn't get a ring, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, I guess
KG.
Did I say? I made Kevin Garnett. I said,
got you.
Yeah, there. 5, Shaq,
Kareem. Yeah.
Will, Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Robinson.
Yeah.
Hakeem.
All them. Man, I would say, man, you forgot Dwayne Wade for 2.
Dwayne Wade for 2. Yes.
Dwayne Wade. So you had Jordan, Kobe.
Dwayne number 3 for sure.
Dwayne Wade. Yeah. And you had let's see, who's a good number 2? Clyde Drexler.
Clyde, Oscar.
And then you had Oscar Robertson.
Yeah.
Those top 5. My point guards are going to be Magic, Curry, in no order. Curry, Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton, and Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3, Larry, LeBron, Paul Pierce. Who else was a good 3?
Yeah, see, once you get past those top 2, 3, it's like, it's not as easy.
See, I ain't say Joe Dumars. I ain't saying Ronnie Cycli. I ain't saying none of them cats. I ain't saying no. My man said Joe.
Hey,
Dumars.
the bad boys dominated.
See, he said bad, but it's a team.
Yeah, but they still dominated. We got put it in there.
Not Joe. So who was the leading scorer on the Bad Boys? Was it Joe Dumars?
No, but
Joe Dumars. Yeah.
I don't think Kevin Garnett was leading scorer when they won in Boston. They don't have to be the team.
But he was that in Minnesota.
Yeah.
When was Joe Dumars ever the leading scorer?
But he didn't win rings in Minnesota.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He won it in Boston. He did. Oh, we forgot about for 2. We forgot about
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen. Yeah.
I would say 3. I would have to say I would probably put Reggie Miller at the 3 to fit him in.
Oh yeah, Reggie.
Fit him in.
Yeah.
Fit him in there. Reggie was nasty, man. Reggie was nasty. He was little. 4, KG, Karl Malone. Let me see who else. I'm missing somebody. Kevin McHale.
Kevin Baller.
Let me see who else was good for. Dennis Rodman.
Dennis was.
And then I would say also for I can't remember somebody else. Did I always say KG already?
Yeah.
KG. Dirk. I forgot about Dirk. Yeah, Dirk,
Homie.
maybe. Dirk, man.
What about your all, and the last one I know we're going over, but now I like talking about basketball. But what about your kind of off the wall team, like cats that you like but like weren't great? No, man, for real. Like me, dude, I loved Ron Artest. Okay, Ron Artest,
crazy people,
like, and not just crazy, but I'm saying like this. No.
Crazy's good.
Yeah, crazy. So
crazy's good.
Like this, I love Rondo. Like Rondo to me as a point guard was the funnest guy. Like I loved Rondo, dude. I don't ever think he got enough love. I loved Rondo. I loved White Chocolate. Jason Williams dropping dimes, right?
Man.
Dude, just dimes, right? Like I love Ron Artest. I loved watching him just do it, bro. He just balled out.
My off the wall person was Chauncey Billups.
Really? Yeah.
Chauncey was that steady point guard. He was Dame time before Dame time.
Yeah.
He can get you a bucket.
Yeah.
But he can also run an offense.
Yeah.
Chauncey was good, and I loved Ben Wallace.
Yes. See, what are you talking about? You like the Pistons too. You're naming all the Pistons. You're hating on me. Yeah.
See, you did. See. I liked him as a player. I didn't say they were top five.
I was just naming people. I said naming people. I was going through the
My
list.
man said, Joe, y'all, I'm looking at this. DG, y'all said that Joe Dumars.
No. First of all, we didn't itch the list at
Joe
Stone.
Dumars. We got it on camera. We're gonna play it back. We got on camera.
We can, but I was naming
top. He said, let me get it out. Shooting guards, top 5 shooting of all time. Yeah. Joe Dumars was number 3.
We were gonna edit it anyway. I said I go, let me name some people. I was like pissed. I was going through the teams in my head, but I loved. Yeah, I like Dennis Rodman there. I don't think he got enough love. I loved Dennis there. I love those like off the wall players, dude. Like I loved watching
Scottie Pippen. Got about him
balling out of control. Like Ron Artest, dude. You got to have Artest on there. Bro, I loved, and he was on the same team, Jermaine O'Neal. I loved watching Jermaine.
Jermaine was all right to me. Jermaine, he was cool. I liked Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace. I liked Jalen Rose.
Yeah,
his game was nice. Jawan Howard. He was one of the coolest guys I ever met. Jawan was just a straight up dude, cool when he played for the Mavericks. I liked Derek Harper, Mark McGuire. I liked, even though I couldn't stand the Knicks, I hated the Knicks back in the day. Patrick Ewing was cool. John Starks,
yeah.
Those guys was nasty, bro. I liked them as well. I liked them. Also, Vernon Maxwell.
Yeah, Vernon Maxwell
he was crazy too.
Yeah, he
was crazy.
There was it was fun. I don't know, man. When Artest and Rondo, I'm like, man, like. When Rondo came to the Lakers, I was like, yes. But I hated that dude when he played for the Celtics. Like,
well, Rondo was not going to shoot. He's going to pass. I respected his game because he was just a passer. But I was like, hey, if you're guarding him, stay off of him.
Yeah, but he would D people up though, man. Like,
he could until you got him on the block.
Yeah. Then it was tough. It
was over. It was over. It was over.
That game when he got dislocated with the Heat, he was playing with one arm. I was like, come on, man. Like. That dude was crazy. I loved watching him. Love Jason Williams, dude. Bro, he was dropping dimes.
Jason Williams was White Chocolate. Man, I love this game, man. He was sick. Yeah. Him, Steve Francis, Cuttino Mobley. Steve Francis was so shifty.
Yeah, Baron Davis back in the day.
Baron
Davis was balling, dude. Yeah,
bro.
I think he was with wasn't Corey Maggette, Baron Davis, weren't they on Warriors?
Yep.
Yeah, they were on the Warriors when out there.
And when they beat the Mavericks, I was so mad.
Yeah,
that was so crazy, mad, bro. But when he dunked on who he dunked, when Darren Barron dunked, he dunked on somebody so bad in that series. I said, and it was the Mavericks.
Yeah,
he went baseline and went up, man. There's a boom. I just said, this is over.
Yeah.
This is over. This is a wrap.
If you're ever having a bad day and you go put on White Chocolate highlights, it'll make your whole day better. Oh. That dude dropped so. I'll go watch. I'm like, man, dude, just and he played football. Remember high school football with Randy Moss. Yeah.
I called Jason Williams the white version of Allen Iverson.
Dude, Allen Iverson.
I forgot about AI. AI was he was nasty, man. He was cool, man. There's been a lot, but
man, yeah.
By no means will you ever come out and say, man, Joe Dumars is top 5.
I was naming people
in shooting guards.
Unless you're on the DG show, you got to throw people for a look. Yeah, you got to.
Hey, forgive him, y'all. He does not know what he's doing. And on top, anything else, he cool. But that one right there,
this is one. You know, every look.
Hey, man, it's okay.
Nobody's perfect.
Take the L.
I have one L.
Baby.
I was naming players for the record. I was just going through.
Hey, here we go. The PC again.
Yeah.
The PC again.
Yeah.
It's all good, but hey, it's no thing, man. It's all good. I enjoyed this, man. This was good.
This is great, man. I appreciate you coming on.
I gotta have you on my show, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Tell me when.
I have a studio actually in Plano off of Jupiter and George Bush.
Name the date and time. We're there.
I got you. I'll text you, man.
How can people find you?
My first and last name on all social media platforms, man.
Perfect.
Every Thursday, I do something called the Counter Move Podcast. We'll take a topic, whether it be political, economic, or social, unpack it together, infuse wisdom in the thing, and then it's provide the solution. And every Friday, 5 p.m., Cliff Hunter is my head GC, and I do a Real Estate Friday training.
That's awesome. I will not be invited to unpacking the top 5 point guards of all time, but
Never will. Never will. I may do a show just on that. Just on that.
Not invited.
Listen to this.
Haters. Listen, haters. This is why white people don't get invited to the barbecue or basketball games. So you got to keep the little white guy ruins it all. Here we go.
Please don't let that go viral, y'all. But I'm talking about Joe would do
Mark Mattson, folks. That's all we got for the look. We get the tea with DG. That's it. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate you.
Man, loved you, brother. God bless you, man.
God bless you.
For sure, man. Yeah, this was good, man. I love you guys set up, man.
Thank you.